It's a star-studded party that kicks off award season, crowning Hollywood's best and brightest. For many, it's seen as the first major indicator of who will take home the ultimate prize, the Oscar. But what happens when the presumed champion is left in their seat and a different film altogether walks away with Oscar gold? Today, we're exploring 14 of the most dramatic splits in Hollywood history. These are the upsets and snubs that prove nothing is guaranteed on the road to the Academy Awards. 1. E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial vs. Gandhi, 1983. Just missing our top spot is a truly heartbreaking loss for a cinematic classic. In 1982, Steven Spielberg's E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial was more than a movie. It was a global phenomenon that captured the hearts of millions. It won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Drama, and seemed like a sure thing for the Oscar. But the Academy often favors historical significance over pure emotion. They chose to award Best Picture to Gandhi, Richard Attenborough's sprawling biopic of the Indian leader, which won 8 Oscars that night. While an important and masterful film, many felt E.T., a film that connected with audiences on such a profound emotional level, was the more deserving winner. Spielberg himself was reportedly disappointed that his deeply personal film was overlooked. 2. Saving Private Ryan vs. Shakespeare in Love, 1999. And here it is the most shocking disagreement. In this corner, the undisputed heavyweight champion, and in the other, a challenger who won the fight before the bell even rang. Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Drama. The visceral World War II epic was praised as a cinematic landmark, and its Oscar win was considered a foregone conclusion. But a romantic comedy, Shakespeare in Love, had been running an unusually aggressive Oscar campaign. When Harrison Ford announced Shakespeare in Love as the winner, the shock was palpable. The upset is often seen as proof that a powerful campaign could defeat a masterpiece, making it one of the most controversial upsets in Oscar history. 3. Moulin Rouge vs. A Beautiful Mind, 2001. A battle between vibrant spectacle and quiet prestige, Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge was a cinematic explosion of color, music, and energy that reinvented the movie musical and won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Musical or Comedy. Its frantic, innovative style was adored by many. The Academy, however, opted for a more traditional path. They awarded Best Picture to A Beautiful Mind, a well-made and respectable biopic directed by Ron Howard. Fans of Moulin Rouge were disappointed, viewing it as another instance of the Oscars choosing a safe, conventional drama over a bold, artistic risk. 4. Lost in Translation vs. The Lord of the Rings, 2004. A quiet, intimate film faced off against a fantasy epic. Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation was a melancholic and charming story of an unlikely friendship in Tokyo. It won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Musical or Comedy, delighting audiences and critics. At the Oscars, however, the competition was Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, the massive conclusion to a monumental trilogy. The Academy chose to honor the sheer scale and decade-long effort behind the fantasy epic, giving it a historic clean sweep that included Best Picture. It was a classic case where subtle storytelling was overshadowed by cinematic grandeur. 5. Brokeback Mountain vs. Crash, 2006. It is an upset that remains hotly debated to this day. Ang Lee's Brokeback Mountain was a cultural landmark, a beautiful and heartbreaking romance between two cowboys that won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Drama. It was the overwhelming favorite to win the Oscar, but on Oscar night, the room was stunned when Jack Nicholson announced the winner was Crash, an ensemble drama about racial tensions in Los Angeles. The decision was immediately met with controversy and accusations that older, more conservative Academy voters weren't ready to give their top prize to a gay love story. To this day, the Crash upset is considered by many to be one of the Academy's greatest missteps. 6. Dreamgirls vs. The Departed, 2007. Coming in at number 6 is a case of being crowned prom queen at every pre-party but not even getting an invitation to the actual prom. The dazzling musical Dreamgirls was a smash, winning the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Musical or Comedy and leading the pack with 8 Academy Award nominations. A Best Picture nod seemed like a lock. In a truly stunning omission, however, it was completely left out of the Best Picture race. The top prize that year ultimately went to The Departed, marking a bizarre moment where the film with the most nominations wasn't even considered for the night's biggest award. We're halfway through our list and the disagreements just keep getting more surprising. Which of these splits do you find the most controversial? Let us know in the comments below, and if you're enjoying this trip through Hollywood's most dramatic moments, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our future videos. Now let's get back to the list. 7. The Social Network vs. The King's Speech, 2011. Kicking off our list at number 8 is a battle between the modern and the traditional. David Fincher's The Social Network was the film of the moment, a sharp, fast-paced and brilliant look at the rise of Facebook that perfectly captured the cultural landscape. It won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Drama and seemed to be the edgy, contemporary choice for the Oscar. But when Oscar night arrived, the Academy chose tradition, awarding The King's Speech, a beautifully crafted British historical drama. While a fantastic film, many felt the Academy played it safe, rewarding a conventional, Oscar bait movie over a modern masterpiece that has only grown more relevant with time. 8. Boyhood vs. Birdman, 2015. It marks a disagreement over different forms of cinematic innovation. Richard Linklater's Boyhood, filmed over an unprecedented 12 years, was a marvel of long-form storytelling that captured the essence of growing up. It won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Drama and was the year's critical darling. But Alejandro González Iñárritu's Birdman presented a different kind of spectacle. Designed to appear as a single, continuous shot, it was a dazzling meta-commentary on Hollywood. The Academy was ultimately seduced by Birdman's technical flash and self-referential subject matter, awarding it Best Picture. For many, this was a frustrating decision that rewarded a film about art over one that truly embodied it. 9. Les Miserables vs. Argo, 2013. At number 9, a grand opera faced off against a tense chess match. Tom Hooper's Les Miserables, with its powerhouse vocals and epic scale, was a global sensation, winning the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Musical or Comedy. But its Oscar momentum was derailed by Argo, a tense political thriller directed by Ben Affleck. While Les Mis was all about passionate, booming emotion, Argo was a masterclass in quiet, strategic suspense. The Academy chose to honor Affleck's taut filmmaking, leaving the French Revolution to storm the barricades without the top prize. 10. La La Land vs. Moonlight, 2017. It is a disagreement so shocking, it was like a coronation where the crown was placed on one person's head, only to be snatched away and given to someone else in front of the world. Damien Chazelle's La La Land swept the Golden Globes and seemed destined for the top Oscar, and for a moment, it was. Presenters famously announced La La Land as the Best Picture winner. As the producers gave their speeches, chaos erupted. A mistake had been made. The correct winner was Barry Jenkins's stunning drama, Moonlight. The mix-up, caused by the wrong envelope, will forever be remembered as one of the most jaw-dropping upsets in awards show history. 11. The Fabelmans and the Banshees of Inisherin vs. Everything Everywhere All at Once, 2022. It tells the story of how a multiverse blockbuster rewrote the awards season playbook. At the 2022 Golden Globes, the top honors were split. Steven Spielberg's personal drama, The Fabelmans, won for Best Drama, while Martin McDonagh's dark comedy, The Banshees of Inisherin, won for Best Musical or Comedy. It looked like a two-film race, but a wildly original sci-fi action comedy. Everything Everywhere All at Once had been building unstoppable momentum. The film, with its hot dog fingers and genre-bending narrative, swept through the rest of the award season, culminating in a dominant Best Picture win at the Oscars. It was a clear signal that the Academy was ready to embrace bold, unconventional filmmaking, leaving two traditional Globe winners behind. 12. Bruce Davison in Longtime Companion, 1990. Its spot highlights a powerful performance that was initially celebrated, then overlooked. In 1990, Bruce Davison won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor for his role in Longtime Companion, one of the first mainstream films to address the AIDS epidemic. Davison's portrayal of a man caring for his dying partner was deeply moving and widely praised. He was considered a strong contender for the Oscar, but the Academy ultimately gave the award to Joe Pesci for Goodfellas. While Pesci's performance was undeniably iconic, many felt the Academy missed an important opportunity to honor a groundbreaking film that tackled a pressing social issue. 13. Tim Robbins in The Player, 1993. Coming in at number 13 is a truly baffling omission. In 1992, Tim Robbins delivered a pitch-perfect performance in The Player, a sharp satire of the movie business. His role as a slick, murderous studio executive earned him the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy, and an Oscar nomination seemed all but guaranteed. But when the Oscar nominations were announced, his name was not on the list. It wasn't just a loss, but a complete snub. The Academy would nominate him for later roles, but overlooking his Globe-winning turn in The Player remains one of the most confusing snubs for a lead actor in Oscar history. 14. Jim Carrey in The Truman Show, 1999. It is perhaps one of the most notorious acting snubs of all time. In 1998, Jim Carrey, then the king of slapstick, gave a masterful dramatic performance in The Truman Show. His portrayal was nuanced, moving, and proved he was far more than a comedic actor. the Hollywood Foreign Press agreed, awarding him the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Drama. An Oscar nomination felt inevitable. Then, the unthinkable happened. He was completely snubbed by the Academy. The decision sparked outrage and fueled debates about the Academy's perceived bias against comedic actors. In a strange twist of fate, Carey won another Globe the very next year for Man on the Moon, only to be snubbed by the Oscars once again. From shocking omissions to historic upsets, the Golden Globes and the Academy Awards have provided decades of drama, proving that in Hollywood, nothing is ever a sure bet. The Globes may offer clues, but the road to Oscar gold is always full of surprises. What do you think is the biggest snub of all time? Did we miss any from our list? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoy deep dives into Hollywood history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.